Like, your dreads are literally so beautiful.
Thank you. I just retwisted them. Thank you. But no, don't you ever refer to my locks as dreadful, because my locks are not dreads. No. They're not dreadful at all.
It was just a compliment.
Thank you. Thank you anyways.
But, okay.
Okay, what you just witnessed was real life scenario of when somebody would call my locks dreads. Doing some research, I really found out what dreads mean, and I was just saying it because on social media people was like, oh no, locks are not dreadful, do not call it dreadlocks, blah, blah, blah. But I'm like, what does locks and dreads really mean? I wanted to know the history. I wanted to know more because I have locks, so why not know more about what's on my hair and what I'm representing, you know? So that's exactly why I made a PowerPoint. So let's get straight to it, okay? Sit down, relax, and learn. Take some notes, and welcome to my classroom. The true meaning of dreadlocks wasn't always negative. It wasn't always about being dreadful. That's because it's been colonized in a way that it's just seen as negative. The word dread has a positive meaning to it, but it's based on a history and research. So let me give that to y'all. Okie dokie, we're gonna get straight to it. It's time to lock in. The meaning of dreadlocks. Let's get straight into it. Let's educate y'all real quick. This is all research based and experience based because I do have dreadlocks, and I just wanted to, teach you guys because this is something that I always wanted to learn, and I'm passionate about this, and I'm gonna teach you guys right now. Get into it. What are dreadlocks exactly? So dreading, locking your hair, is a process of your hair literally matting together. It's like when you leave your hair alone, what do you expect it to do? That's exactly what locks do. They marry each other and they combine, and there's so many ways to start it. You can start it with coils, braids, free-forming, literally doing nothing to twist. I started mine with coils, and I'm loving the journey so far, but as you guys see, you can start it with many ways as you want, and I find that so beautiful. And people start it for many different reasons, which we're going to get into next. So in the last slide we said what are dreadlocks, but why do people start their locks? So there are many reasons why people start their locks, and I'm going to teach you guys that today. So the first reason is it's easy maintenance and simply not wanting to do your hair, and that's the reason why I started my locks. Like, it's easy maintenance. I didn't want to do my hair anymore, and I'm like, why not? It's really pretty as well. Spiritual reasons, connections to God and the divine. Cultural reasons, personal preference, going against the grain of beauty standards. I got my keyboard right here, so professional. So why did I start my locks? So I actually got into this in another video of mine, and I started my locks because it was just easy maintenance, and it's a beautiful hairstyle. I love it so much. About me learning more about my natural hair and embracing it the way that it naturally grows. And I was just fascinated by locks. Like, I was always fascinated by it, and I want to experience the journey. So that's exactly why I started my locks. The ancient roots of dreadlocks, okay? So there isn't a single origin on where dreadlocks started, why they started, who started them, but based on my research, they go way back to BC times. It's written, proof of locks, 500 BC and around 1500 BC. And during this times, there is a deity called Lord Shiva that is a part of the Indian religion, Indian culture. And I didn't get too deep into this, so if I'm wrong, you guys can correct me. Shiva and his followers are described by Ta, meaning wearing knots and tangled hair. So these are like the earliest, written evidence of locks, and describing it as knots and tangled hair is exactly what locks are. So it's so cool to see that it goes way back into these cultures and religions and practices. Ancient roots of locks go way back to Kenya, Zimbabwe, all across Africa and Egypt. So the roots are really from Africa, and this is what I'm going to get into more on the next slide. Himbia tribe. So have you ever seen like those beautiful women with red dye in their hair and dreadlocks? This is exactly what they are. They're from the Himbia tribe in Zambia. Yes, they're from Zambia, and I always find them so beautiful. I look into the reasons to why they have these in their hair and how they do it as well. They use a red clay called, I don't know if I'm going to say it right, Otij. It is spelled O-T-I-J-Z-E. So I don't know if I'm saying that right, but hopefully I said it close enough. And it's a mixture of butterflat and the ochre stone, as shown right here, with butterfat as well. They use it to protect themselves from the sun in the desert environment. They live in a very hot environment, and they use it to protect themselves. Not only this, but it's very beautiful, it's feminine, and it's really nice to them because it represents womanhood and fertility in women as well. So it is mainly women who do wear the style and the himbia tribe, but it goes all across Africa between men and women and even children. It is shown to be just beautiful, strong, powerful, and also a spiritual connection as well. Also worn at special events such as weddings. So, we've been to Africa, but I'm gonna take you guys to Jamaica. Alright, you irie? Okay, let's get straight to it. So, Rastafari movement and dreadlocks. So, we're talking about Bob Marley. Okay, Bob Marley is seen so much around the dreadlock movement. Okay, Bob Marley is the one who kind of like set the blueprint in a way, trend wise, fashion wise, and showing it to the world wise, okay? At least not word wise a lot. So, but this ties back to the Rastafari movement, which originated in the 1930s. The Rastafari movement is a movement mixed with Christian beliefs and African-centered consciousness. The Rastafari believe that Emperor Selassie the first is a divine being who will come back, and then they all one day will live peacefully in Africa, Zion, that's what they call it. And then Western society is called Babylon. A deep dive of this in another video because this is so much like lore when it comes to Rastafari, and it's beautiful, and I am Jamaican as well, and it's also a cultural thing for me. I have been like really deeply into the culture. At one point I was just vegan, but this is my first time like really getting my dreadlocks or deep dive on this. With it originating in the 1930s, Rastafari is particularly a new religion, a new belief, and a new lifestyle. Rastafari is just mixed with one. It's like a culture, it's a way of living mostly. You know, they're vegan, and the way that they grow their locks is a deeper meaning than just a hairstyle. I'm gonna get into that in another slide as well, but it's just so beautiful to me. It is a statement against Babylon. Dreadlocks and the Rastafari culture movement is a statement against Babylon, which is Western culture, and is a homage to Zion, which is their African roots, their African, being. Mainstream with Bob Marley, and when Bob Marley would like show his locks, and this is when, because Bob Marley is a superstar, okay? So a lot of people were like seeing like locks for what they are. People are being curious, and then people are like getting locks as well of all cultures. That's why, locks are associated with hippies or weed smokers and things like that. And also weed is something that the Rastafari use as a part of their practice. It's a spiritual connection as well, and that's why they smoke weed. And then at times they would be discriminated against because they're smoking weed as a part of their practice. They weren't harming anybody, but as a part of their practice, that's why they were getting discriminated against in Jamaica and all around the world. And then this is how it grows stereotypes. This is why people see locks as a bad thing sometimes, and especially in the workplace as well. Dreadlocks and spirituality. Okay, so this slide is really interesting, and this ties into Rastafari and the culture and their beliefs. So like I said earlier, it's connected to Christianity beliefs, okay? They are connected to those beliefs, and they take a lot from the Bible as well. So something that I found from the Bible that does connect to dreadlocks and spirituality is a verse from the Nazarite vow in Numbers. It is the Nazarite vow is included a prohibition against cutting one's hair, symbolizing a complete dedication to God. So in this verse it says, all the days of his vow of separation, no razor shall touch his head until the time is completed for which he separates himself to the Lord. He shall be holy. He shall let the locks of his hair of his head grow long. And this is from the ESV version. And the meaning of dread connects to all of this. The true meaning, the positive meaning of dread is the fear and reverence of God. And we would have never known that by the westernized, the colonized meaning of dreadful, which is like, something to dread something is to just like, let me look that up actually. Hey Siri, what does dreadful mean?
Dreadful means causing or involving great suffering, fear, or unhappiness, extremely bad or serious.
Yeah.
Do you want to hear the remaining one?
Okay, exactly. So Siri said it for me because I didn't take notes on this. But it's great suffering like just great suffering. But this is the opposite of the true meaning. The true meaning is reverence and fear of God, which connects to wisdom and beautiful things spiritually. For people that do this spiritually, there's other reasons as well. But I just used a biblical verse to just represent the gist of it and why Rastafari and other people do lock their hair. This verse is a perfect example of what dread means and the spirituality behind it, and it's about being one with God, being connected to the divine, to God, and just allowing yourself to be your true self that God made you to be. So this is how this connects to it. So contemporary locks and black culture. So right here, who's this? Y'all know who she is. Whoopi Goldberg, Miss Lauren Hill herself, Lenny Kravitz. So all of these beautiful people, they do have dreadlocks, and I find it so beautiful. I would say this picture is very famous of Lauren Hill. Okay, she's iconic. We all know who she is. Singer, songwriter, rapper, actress, philanthropist. Yeah, artist, all of that. These are contemporary locks in black culture, and they have shaped it in the culture to show like how beautiful dreadlocks are. And this has also made people like more comfortable with wearing their hair this way and being like, yeah, they do it, so I'm gonna do it too. That's kind of how trends start. But if, as you can see, especially Lauren's hair, her hair is definitely freeform. They all wear it in their natural state, and this is like kind of how locks just allow you to be free. And it's just an example, perfect example of how locks just allow you to be. And even though they are really impactful figures, they are big figures, and for them to wear dreadlocks is shaping it's kind of like a blueprint, kind of like people look up to them, and that is just a beautiful thing to do. Like when someone that looks like you is representing beauty that goes against the societal standards, then you want to do it too. So I love this slide so much. Next. Okay, Miss Zendaya. Okay, why is Zendaya in this slide, you ask? I'm gonna get into that. In 2015 at the Academy Awards, beautiful Zendaya decided to wear locks. And yes, it's beautiful. Nothing is wrong with it. But the fashion police were saying that it looks like she smells like patchouli and weed. How disgusting is that? How disgusting is that? It just shows like stereotypes with people that do wear locks. And honestly, she looks so beautiful. Look at her, it's so stunning. And faux locks, but it's a perfect example of how people stereotype anyone that has locks. Like these stereotypes didn't just start now, they're built over time and colonization against black people who wore locks as part of their culture. So for you to say that Miss Zendaya looks like she smells like petroleum and weed is literally just a stereotype, and saying these like offensive stuff about her is how people really think about people with locks, and it really is. But yeah, this was a perfect example of that. So these are a couple of stereotypes that go hand in hand with what I just told you guys about the Zendaya situation. Stereotypes include seen as dirty and unkept because of going against societal norms and history of African soldiers. Okay, so you know, anyone that goes against society is just the ops of society, if that makes sense. If you go against society of any norms, people are gonna look at you crazy. People are not gonna like you. People are gonna twist words. People are gonna lie. People create stereotypes because they're scared of what they don't know. Clock that. Clock that. That was so good. Like I'm really rapping. Like I'm really doing it. Okay. But anyways, this goes way back to when the African soldiers would wear their locks, especially in Kenya. When the men would wear their locks and embrace them, the colonizers would be like, oh, those are just unkept. Those are dirty. I don't know what that is. That's disgusting. So they're saying these things about it, and these are passed down, and these are like just embedded in the culture now, because it's like, since they said this, it must be true, even though it's not true. So saying these things are really harmful towards dreadlocks and really harmful towards people that do wear them, because we're not like that. And these stereotypes were built from way back then. it has been colonized to be dreadful in a Western context. That's why when people say, oh, my locks aren't dreadful, that's from a Western point of view. That's why people don't like to have their locks be called dreads, because they see it in that context. But if you reclaim it and do research and really understand more about your hair, then you can rewrite that story for yourself. It is linked to criminality, made it difficult for people to find jobs because of this stereotype. So this goes back to Jamaica and the Rastafari. During this time, a lot of Rastafari people with dreadlocks, men and women, were discriminated against because of their hair, because of their beliefs, and also because it was linked to criminality. Okay, like I said, smoking weed is a big part of the culture, a big part of the religion, a big part of the movement. So this was obviously against the law, so they would discriminate against them, and they had different beliefs from the law. So going against the grain then caused discrimination towards anyone. You know, the people that were criminals, it's not fair to the people that aren't. You know what I mean? And most of them weren't even criminals, they were just living their truth. So this is why it's linked to criminality and all of these things. And then it's hard for people to get jobs and even go to school based on their hairstyle. It's just a misunderstood beauty. I feel like locks can be so misunderstood if you don't know the reason behind it, if you don't know the research, and if you're not fully intact with it. Locks today. Okay, so locks are so trendy, and there is a huge lock community, and I'm a part of that. My online lock community is just so beautiful. I have my lock page, Zoe's Lock Diary, and that's just somewhere where all of the girlies and the guys just have our locks, and it's just such a beautiful culture, and there is so much versatility to them. And I feel like right now people are reclaiming that with their ancestors, with their past, with their roots. They're reclaiming their natural hair, not only just because of their past, but also because right now in the moment it's cool to have locks, and locks are so beautiful, and you can get a good job with locks, you can get into a good school with locks, you can be a good person with locks. And I find that so beautiful because for them to be so in right now, it's just a beautiful thing. So people are understanding their natural hair more. Like me building this community about my locks on hair has been so beautiful, and I'm allowing people to understand their hair even more. I'm sharing what I've learned with the world because I feel like we deserve that. It's becoming really, you know, trendy and versatile, like online, like I said, social media, YouTube, and all of those things. There's so many ways to start locks, so many ways to style locks, like how I did right here. And it's a symbol of power as well. So let's wrap this up. Let's see what we talked about today. We talked about what are dreadlocks. Dreadlocks is a way of when your hair mats together from low manipulation or no manipulation. Why can't I talk right now? Combining of hair strands, that's what dreadlocks are. People start locks for many reasons: spiritual, personal, low maintenance, and many more. I started my locks because I was always fascinated by locks. It is beautiful, and I didn't want to do my hair anymore, and I find it beautiful. The ancient roots of dreadlocks go way back to the BC times, 3000 BC, and connects to parts of India with their religion and culture. It's a big part of Africa. It goes deep into Africa's history, and with the himbia tribe as well, where they use clay to form their locks as a part of fertility and just the beautiful empowerment of it in women. The Rastafari movement and dreadlocks goes way back to the 1930s, where it originated, where they want to connect to God, Jah/God, and how they live is a big part of their dreads, and it's way more than just a hairstyle. It's a part of their being, a part of their culture. There's so many reasons why people get locks in Rastafari. The verse in the Bible goes back to the Nazareth vow, a dedication to God. Contemporary locks in Black culture, this goes way back to Whoopi Goldberg, Lauryn Hill, and Lenny Kravitz are perfect examples of this. The Zendaya situation, where she was stereotyped and said she looks like petroleum oil and weed, saying that she smells like that, was a stereotype. There are many stereotypes that go way back to the colonization times up to now, and why locks are seen as dreadful. Locks today are just so powerful. Okay, so I just did like a summary. I recapped this video. So some final thoughts. What do you think about this? Do we still call them dreadlocks or locks? Does this change your outlook on dreads? Does this change your outlook on calling them dreads? Should anyone wear locks that aren't from African descent? What else do you want to know? What else should I talk about? Concludes my video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you feel so educated, and subscribe for more. Help me get 300 subscribers. Watch my video all the way through. Help the girly out. And I hope you guys enjoyed this lock video. I know I did. I worked so hard on this for you guys. But have a beautiful day. Stay blessed. Stay locked in. Stay wise. And yeah. Bye, beautiful people.
Cause I got a chauffeur, first class, how I get around the world.